for a dog who spent her youth searching through the rubble of Ground Zero. This was a different kind of homecoming. This is the story of Bretagne, the last surviving 9/11 search dog, and her final, emotional return to the city. She helped heal. We think of heroes as walking on two legs, wearing uniforms and carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. But some of the most profound heroes walk on four paws, with a sense of duty that asks for nothing in return but a gentle hand and a loving home. This is the story of one of those heroes, a golden retriever named Bretagne who, in the darkest days of modern American history, became a beacon of hope. And years later, the city she survived would give her a hero's welcome she would never forget. 14 years after risking her life at Ground Zero, one elderly golden retriever returned to New York City. What happened when she stepped into Times Square left thousands of people in tears. She wasn't a celebrity, she wasn't a politician, she was a search and rescue dog who had spent nearly 2 weeks searching the ruins after the September 11th attacks. And the city she once helped save had one final surprise waiting just for her. Her name was Bretagne. 14 years earlier, she had walked across twisted steel and shattered concrete, searching tirelessly beside her handler as hope slowly faded into heartbreak. Now, with her muzzle gray from age and her pace noticeably slower, she had returned to the city, where her courage became part of history. But this visit wasn't about revisiting the past. It was New York City's chance to honor one of its quietest heroes with a final, unforgettable thank you. To understand this celebration, we have to go back to September of 2001. Bretagne, pronounced Brittany, was just a 2-year-old pup, newly certified as a FEMA search and rescue dog. Her handler, Denise Corliss, was a volunteer firefighter with Texas Task Force 1. They had trained for this, spending countless hours building a partnership, forged in trust and repetition. But nothing could have prepared them for their very first deployment. Following the collapse of the World Trade Center, they were dispatched from Texas to New York City. Along with nearly 100 other search dog teams, their mission was to look for survivors in the seemingly insurmountable pile of twisted steel and concrete. Denise later recalled the moment they arrived. "When our task force arrived in Ground Zero, I just couldn't believe the magnitude of it," she said. The scale of the devastation was breathtaking. In that moment of overwhelming shock, she looked down at her young dog. But where a human saw horror, Bretagne saw a task. Denise remembered. She seemed stoic and ready to work. For nearly 2 weeks they worked grueling 12-hour shifts. Denise guided Bretagne over treacherous terrain, through dust so thick it choked the air, as the dog used her powerful nose to search for any sign of life. They were a team in the truest sense, navigating the ruins with a singular purpose. In those first days, the mission was one of search and rescue. But as the days wore on, the grim reality set in. The mission shifted from rescue to recovery. The work was physically demanding and emotionally shattering. For the firefighters, police officers, and construction workers on the pile, the weight of the task was immense. And it was here that Bretagne's second, perhaps even more critical, role emerged. She became more than a search dog. She became a therapy dog. Denise noticed that when Bretagne wasn't actively searching, weary first responders would just gravitate toward her. They'd kneel down, stroke her golden fur, and for a moment, you could see the crushing weight lift. Bretagne seemed to understand. She would lean into their touch, offering a quiet, non-judgmental comfort that no human could. Reflecting on this, Denise said. "What I didn't anticipate is the role that they take on as a therapy dog. It provides an opportunity for people to have support. One firefighter in particular would come by to see her every day. Bretagne became a four-legged symbol of resilience, a soft presence in a hard place. For Denise, having Bretagne by her side was an anchor. I was just so grateful to have a canine partner that helped me get through it," she said. The experience at Ground Zero, their very first mission together, forged a bond between them that was deeper than handler and dog. It was a partnership of souls who had witnessed the unthinkable together and relied on each other to get through it. They left New York physically exhausted and emotionally scarred, but with a connection that would last a lifetime. 14 years passed. Bretagne served with distinction at other disaster sites, including Hurricanes Katrina, Rita, and Ivan. She eventually retired from formal search work at the age of 9, but her life of service was far from over. Still, the memories of Ground Zero remained. As Bretagne approached her 16th birthday in 2015, an organization called Bark Post heard her story. They learned that this incredible dog, now thought to be the last surviving search dog from 9/11, had never been back to the city she served. They decided this hero deserved the celebration of a lifetime, so they hatched a plan. Fly Bretagne and Denise back to New York City for a dog's best day to honor her sweet 16. This time, their trip from Texas to New York wasn't one of urgent duty, but of gratitude. Instead of the grim uncertainty of 2001, they were met with a hero's welcome. From the moment they landed, the city that had once called on her for help was now rolling out the red carpet. The celebration was everything a hero dog could dream of and more. They were chauffeured into Manhattan and checked into a luxury suite at the One Hotel near Central Park, complete with gourmet doggy burgers and a plush bed. But the royal treatment was just getting started. A vintage yellow taxi arrived to give Bretagne a tour of the town. Their destination, Times Square. As they stepped out into the bustling heart of the city, Denise and Bretagne looked up at one of the massive digital billboards. Suddenly, it lit up with a picture of the beloved golden retriever and the words, "Happy Birthday, Bretagne." For a few minutes amid the chaos of Times Square, a quiet hero was celebrated in the biggest way possible. The day was filled with honors. At Hudson River Park, she was presented with the Bone to the City, a canine version of the Key to the City. She splashed playfully in a fountain, a joyful, carefree moment that stood in stark contrast to the grim work of her youth. Later, at a surprise party, she was surrounded by presents and a custom dog-friendly birthday cake. A donation was also made in her name to Texas Task Force 1, ensuring the next generation of search dogs like her could be trained. The entire day was a testament to the city's enduring gratitude. As Denise put it, "Of course, it's not just about Bretagne. It's about the love and support that New York showed for those who responded to 9/11. She's kind of a symbol of that." Perhaps the most poignant moment of the trip was their return to the World Trade Center site. They had visited the 9/11 memorial a year earlier, but this visit felt different, colored by the celebration of her life and service. Where there was once a smoldering pile of debris, there are now 2 serene, cascading memorial pools. The names of the nearly 3,000 victims are etched in bronze, a solemn, permanent tribute. A cobblestone on the memorial plaza was even dedicated in Bretagne and Denise's honor. Denise was moved by the transformation. It's so calm and peaceful now, unlike the chaos of before. she shared, standing there with a aging Bretagne, who had once searched so desperately in that very spot. The journey had come full circle. It was a moment of quiet reflection, honoring the past while embracing the peace of the present. The visit wasn't about reopening old wounds, but about acknowledging the healing that had taken place, both for the city and for its responders. After retiring from the high-stakes world of disaster response, Bretagne's work wasn't done. Her desire to serve and connect with people continued. In her later years, she found a new calling as a reading assistance dog at a local elementary school in Texas. First graders who were shy or struggled with reading would sit beside her and read aloud. Bretagne would listen patiently, a non-judgmental, furry friend who helped build their confidence, one page at a time. Denise noted how this work helped keep Bretagne engaged and gave her a renewed sense of purpose in her golden years. This final chapter of her life was a beautiful testament to her gentle spirit, from the chaos of Ground Zero to the quiet of a first-grade classroom. Bretagne's life was an unbroken chain of service. She showed us that heroes come in all forms and that their work doesn't end when the mission is over. If Bretagne's incredible journey moved you, don't let her story end here. Share this video to honor her memory and the thousands of heroic service animals who have quietly changed lives through courage and loyalty. Subscribe to Barksite for more true stories that celebrate the extraordinary bond between humans and dogs.